Wisconsin and Iowa. Now, last week, Wisconsin, of course, lost outright to BYU, which was a shock to a lot of people, a shock to me. I did not have Wisconsin last week, although Al McMorty did. That was one of his losers, I believe. Yeah, Al McMorty did have Wisconsin. I had the under in that game, which did cash, but I'm not going to say I knew exactly how that game would go because I did not see the outright win coming. I did not see Wisconsin getting gashed on the ground by BYU, and that's pretty ominous right here. Wisconsin, of course, lost a bunch of players on defense, and people were thinking that it would be no problem this year. They'll just swap in some other guys who will be just as good. Maybe that's not quite the case. We know that Iowa in general at home is very, very, very tough as a home underdog. They've gotten some outright wins against some absolute giants at home. And I'm thinking that the under might once again be the way to go here. Of course, Iowa's playing off a revenge last year where they got absolutely blown out by Wisconsin, but that was at Wisconsin. Totally different situation when Iowa's at home as a home underdog. I'm actually leaning Wisconsin here, but I'm thinking the best play might be the under. What do you like here, Joe?
Well, I certainly have to agree with that intro. Classic spot for Iowa. As the Saturday night home dog, probably see a whiteout or a blackout or a black and gold out here from the Iowa fans on Saturday night in this Saturday night home dog spot. And Iowa's certainly playing well out of the gate. They're 3-0 straight up and against the spread, although the competition may be a little bit not up to standards. They'll be playing later in the year against the Big Ten. But they're only allowing 209 yards a game and only 1.5 yards per rush. Certainly something they'll need against the Wisconsin ground game. This is interesting because it qualifies as one of my minus 50 AFP games. We've spoken about the away from the point spread concept often in the last 4 years on this show regarding college football. And that's where I look at the sum of the AFP net differential for a team, whether plus or minus. And in the middle part of the season, we look for a team that has a net combined minus 50 or more AFP. That is Wisconsin in this spot. They've lost to the spread all 3 times this year by a combined 32 points, while Iowa is 3-0 against the spread, covering by 24 points. That qualifies as one of my plays. And as a result, this line has gotten knocked down a little bit. Would have been closer to 8 or 9 points. Now it's only -3, favoring Wisconsin in this game. I like the Badgers here tonight, despite the classic home dog spot for Iowa. They're in an outstanding role here from the standpoint of how they play under their current coaches. 12-3 against the spread as a traveler, 6-1 against the spread off a loss. And of course, last 2 years, they have absolutely destroyed Iowa by combined scores of 55-13, including 38-14 last year, in which they outgained them 382-67. We have a little dominance going on here in the face of Iowa revenge. I like the lower line, the great value. I'm going to take Iowa. I'm going to take Wisconsin on the road off a loss is the play here.
Well, in the Low Shack in the Bag show today, I did actually do that one myself, looking into the game a little bit more. I'm feeling a little bit nervous about it. Ian Cameron, what do you think? I made Wisconsin -3 a play. Feels like a bounce back spot for them. I know it's really tough to go into Iowa and get a win as a road favorite. And I'm also leaning under the very low total, 43.5. What's your take on this game, Ian, if any?
Interesting game. Very interesting game because you got Wisconsin's been a clear overvalued commodity from day one, and Iowa's been a clear undervalued commodity. And I'll be the first one to admit I've been wrong about Iowa so far, at least so far. I mean, I was on Iowa State against them, and Iowa just shut them down. Kyle Kempt got injured that game. David Montgomery couldn't run the football, and that Iowa defense has been great. And now I'm reading reports out of Iowa City here. 2 of the best playmakers on this Iowa team are coming back. Running back Ivory Kelly-Martin's missed the first 2 games of the season with an ankle injury. He's been a full participant in practice this week. They're expecting him back. Also expecting one of their absolute speed burners back at wide receiver for this game, Amir Smith-Marset, who's been dealing with a shoulder injury. That's going to add some punch and help Nathan Stanley out, make this offense more balanced. I was hoping for a better number, but again, Wisconsin loses outright as a big favorite against BYU last week. That's why they're only laying 3 now on the road in this spot. I was hoping for more points, but to take Iowa, and I lean Iowa, but not sure the value's there. But if they win this game, wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, all right, so it's going to be a pass for you as far as an official pick is concerned, Ian.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, in the BYU game, there was definitely some luck that benefited BYU, but no question, Wisconsin got burned on the ground, and that's their bread and butter, and that makes me very nervous. Going back to you, Joe Gavassi, look, I gave this one myself, Wisconsin -3, but just the quick thoughts. When you see Wisconsin at home getting gashed by another team with a not explosive run game, I mean, BYU of course has a strong offensive line. They're trying to be a new version of Wisconsin, but the rushing numbers that Wisconsin gave up against BYU definitely scary in terms of what's likely to come in this game in subsequent weeks, right?
Shocking. You're absolutely right. And we'll see how this plays out against Iowa, who has a very good rush defense themselves, and Iowa's decent running the ball. It will only tell over time. But I love the spot with Wisconsin. The lower line, awful loss, great traveler to overcome the Saturday night home dog emotion.
All right, I did it myself in the Low Shack in the Bag show. Wisconsin -3, -106.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.